What's up guys, I'm Zach from Cars of Davis, and today I'm going to be talking about you guys wanting to buy a Mazda Miata NB. So most likely you're a younger person, probably a teenager, who has around, let's say, 2 to 4 grand in their bank account. You're looking to buy your first car. You're a car guy, right? So naturally, what are you looking at? Probably one of the main cars that you're looking to get is a Mazda Miata. It's cheap, it's fun, it's reliable, it handles great, and it's just a great car in general. But when you're in the market looking for one, there are some important things to look for, like it costs you a lot of money. So I'm going to start with the biggest thing to look out for when you're buying an NB Mazda Miata, and that's actually underneath the hood, and you can pop the latch over here. So we've got the hood open. One of the biggest things on these cars is down here. If you look underneath the car down here, it might actually be easier to look underneath. You can see in there, right at the base of this pulley, right there. You're gonna want to check for oil. That's probably the biggest thing for this car, because this under here, it's not a timing chain, it's a timing belt, and those go out a lot at around 140, 150,000 miles, and those are gonna need to be replaced. It's not too bad from what I've seen. It only requires hand tools, but basically this valve cover comes off, and then you have to take the intake off, and then the serpentine belt, which is actually underneath there, it's right in there, and all the pulleys around that come off, and then you can get access to the crankshaft, which is usually where it's leaking from, as well as replace the timing belt while you're down there. All right, the next thing you want to look out for is faded headlights. These are actually not too bad. I was able to clean them off, and they actually turned out really well. See, both on this side and this side, they're pretty clear now. But when I first got them, they were like yellow, like totally yellow. And that's something that you want to watch out for. And this is kind of with any car, but that is something that commonly happens to the NBs. All right, this one is probably more self-explanatory and just something that you would do in general when looking thoroughly over a convertible, but make sure that this hardtop isn't ripped. As you can see here, this one's actually pretty good. The guy before me actually replaced this with a brand new soft top, so it is pretty much perfect. But if the person that you're buying it from leaves it down while you're test driving it and everything, make sure to put it up and check. Just don't forget about that. All right, so the next thing you want to look out for is these sun visors. A lot of times these come super loose, especially on the driver's side. Normally it should be touching the top of your windshield like this. A lot of the times they hang down like this far though, and they're really loose. And it's caused by this piece of plastic right here. It's connected to the visor. This right here, this happens a lot around the screws, and if you unscrew it, the inside of this is also cracked. Way to fix this is just like putting tape around it to make it more solid, and then just kind of like pushing it in more. That is something to watch out for. Maybe you can get the owner to go down a few dollars because of it, but it's not a big deal, but it is something to watch out for. Next thing you want to look out for is the driver's seat. A lot of the time, this right here is super ripped up, both from sitting on it, and people just jump into it. All right, so the next thing that you want to look out for is valve tick. To do this, you're going to want to go ahead and start up the car. Frequently, this issue will start right when you start up the car, not really after you start driving, but as you can hear here, the engine, it's not making any like ticking sounds. Like, a little bit is normal like this, but if you hear that ticking sound, if you hear that really, really loud right when you start up the car, that's gonna be a valve tick. It's not a big deal, but it does get really annoying and it can cause some issues. So you just want to watch out for that. And if the one that you're looking at does in fact have valve tick, you're gonna want to knock a few hundred off the price. All right, the next thing you want to look out for is a misfire. So it's pretty easy to figure out if your car is misfiring if you have an OBD2 reader and the Miatas actually do take OBD2s. So what you gonna want to do is down here, you just take this panel off, and you're gonna see the OBD2 reader plugin. It's right here. It's this black thing. And you're gonna want to go ahead and plug in your OBD2 scanner, just to make sure there's no codes getting thrown, and that it can pass smog and everything. But if you don't have an OBD2 scanner and you just want to feel out to see if the car has it, you should probably do this anyways, just because sometimes people will clear the O2 reader before they try and sell it to you, so that it looks like it's clean, and then, you know, on your way home you get a check engine light and you're, oh man, like this guy just screwed me. So what you're gonna want to do is just make sure it's in neutral, and then you're gonna want to rev it up. And it should, this RPM meter should just go up super smoothly. It shouldn't be any like stuttering or anything. It shouldn't be like this and then that. It should just go all the way up without any kind of pause or hesitation. This one isn't really something that's bad. It's just something that you probably want to be aware of, because not all cars do this. But for the stick shift, a lot of times it just rattles like back and forth. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but a little bit of shaking in this stick shift is normal. It happens even like on the NC or like newer Miatas. It's just this shifter isn't really like locked in solidly, and that's okay. It's just how this car is. All right, this is the last thing on my list for what to watch out for when buying an NB Miata. There's a lot of things you need to watch out for from buying a car, but these are just some of the things that like pertain to the Miata. It's this cup holder right here. As you can see, it just flops around, and it should not be doing that. And this gets super annoying when you're shifting, right? And you like accidentally hit this, and then it just like comes up, and then it's in the way of your shifting. There's a fix for it. You have to take off the entire like center console right here, and get to the spring. But I haven't gotten around to that. This is just a frustrating issue, and you want to watch out for it. So these are just some of the things that you want to watch out for when you're buying an NB Miata. Hopefully it helped you guys when you're on your way to go and get a Miata, and I hope you highly consider getting one of these. They're really cheap, they're really fun, they're really reliable and easy to modify. But go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll be coming out with more Miata content with this NB. And yeah, have a nice day, guys.